Wesley Sneijder is a professional footballer who has spent time with a few clubs throughout his career after a long journey to make it to the league. Sneijder first made his debut back in 2003 when Ajax dominated Willem II by a score of 6-0, and from that point on, Sneijder completely dominated the midfield position of the team. Shortly after that, he made his European debut about a month later. Ever since he got that first start, he has been dominant, scoring goals left and right while continuously making winning plays to keep his team in the ball game. He happened to be on the Netherlands squad that made it into the 2010 World Cup finals, but the team didn't win, losing to Spain. It didn't matter what team he was on, they always improved when he was on the field, and that is definitely a trait you want in a player no matter the sport. But what were the 10 best goals of Wesley Sneijder's career? Let's take a deeper look. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified every time we upload a video. The first goal on our list happened to be a penalty kick. He took his time lining everything up before stepping in to take his shot on the net. There was a wall of 5 players standing a few feet in front of the goalie, so it looked like a very difficult shot. It was almost certain to bank off another player in front of him and go the opposite direction, but Sneijder was able to arc his shot straight over all 5 of those players, right in the middle of 2 of them who happened to be jumping to deflect the shot. It then sailed towards the goalie, who expected it to come straight towards him until it began curving hard to the left and flew into the top left corner of the net and scoring a goal for his team. Maybe it was luck, but given his successful career, we have to imagine that it was all part of the plan for one of the greats of the game. This next goal started off with a kick from the corner, with all the players from each team attempting to get positioning. The ball was kicked into the air and flew down in front of the goalie, where about 3 players, 2 from one team, all jumped up and headed the ball back outside to their other teammates. The ball kind of rolled back a little bit to an area that didn't have anybody there, and Sneijder suddenly flew into the frame and drilled the ball straight down the lane and into the net. It was like he burst out of a cannon for that shot, coming out of nowhere to surprise even the goalie and his teammates. It all happened so fast that the opposing team's goalie didn't even dive for the ball, but rather just watched it soar into the net and look around in disgust. Up next, there is a goal that started off with one of Sneijder's teammates controlling the ball in the attacking zone. He was taking it up the field with a defender closing in on him, so he fired a pass across the field over to a teammate that wasn't Sneijder. That teammate was able to header the ball back into the middle of the field to try and centre it, but it was still a little too far on the right side. Well, that's what it looked like at first. That was until Sneijder gained control of the ball and immediately sent a shot at the net from a few feet away and to the right, with the goalie lunging right after him. The ball went perfectly around the goalie's body, and it slipped through such a small window and into the back of the net. He made the goal look so effortless, but let me tell you, there is no way I would have been able to put such accuracy in that much of a hurry. We have a crazy one here. A teammate of Sneijder's was getting himself stuck into a corner at one point before he passed it to a teammate next to him, and that teammate passed the ball one more time to Sneijder. Sneijder gathered possession and duked out 2 defenders before getting trapped, so he narrowly passed the ball to another teammate, who immediately gave it back to him. Sneijder then began falling while the ball came towards him, so he kicked the ball while falling to the ground, and the shot arced right above the goaltender's head and right into the net. I bet even he was surprised that that shot went in. In the Champions League back in the 2009 season with Inter, Sneijder was on the opposite end of the field from where the ball was located. 2 of his teammates were passing back and forth before the ball was sent to the golden opportunity, and he fired his shot at the goalie and it slipped through for a nice goal for his squad. This one actually starts off with Sneijder for once. This just always seems to know which way the ball will bounce, and always finds himself in perfect positioning on the field. During the Serie A in that same season, Inter was going up against Bari. One of Sneijder's teammates had seemingly run out of room on the field and was to the direct right of the net with no clear shot. He kicked it across the field to another teammate who was able to header it back into the centre of the field where Sneijder was patiently waiting. He obtained possession of the ball and took one step before taking his shot towards the bottom right of the net and just out of reach of the opposing team goaltender. This once again goes back to my statement from earlier about him always happening to be in the perfect place for scoring opportunities, and the amazing part of it is that he normally cashes in on those opportunities for goals. Later in the Serie A that year, Inter found themselves locked up in a tight game against Roma. A teammate had possession of the ball on the far right side of the field before passing it towards Sneijder in the middle of the field. He wasn't near the net this time and was actually quite far away, but he fielded the ball and instead of passing, he just took a shot at the net. There were roughly 8 people in between him and the net, not including the goaltender. But Sneijder thought it would be best to take the shot anyway. To the surprise of many, the ball sailed through every single player before finding its way to the back of the net. Not only did he score, but it looked as if the goalie was shocked that he got it that high arcing. He didn't even dive. He just stood there and kneeled down after it went in. Not that he would have been able to stop that shot anyway, but an attempt could have been nice. At number 2, we have yet another goal that looks so easy and yet so difficult at the same time. Sneijder was in the middle of 2 other teammates with one to his left controlling the ball and trying to get better positioning for a shot. He passed to a teammate to his left who was slashing into the centre of the field at high speeds before he passed the ball yet again to Sneijder. Sneijder didn't even gain possession of the pass before firing a shot at the net. He actually turned around right as the ball came up to him, and he kicked it backwards, confusing the goalie and sending it straight into the net for a goal. It looks so simple, but at the same time it takes such timing to pull something like that off in the middle of a game. Finally, we have one of the best goals of Sneijder's career, and it was more of a fantastic effort from him and a teammate. His teammate had fielded the ball close to the opposing team's net and was falling down a small bit. He was still able to stop and pass the ball across the field and through the legs of a defender over to Sneijder. Sneijder then took the ball a mere second before the goalie was able to get to it far outside the net, and Sneijder simply popped the ball right up and over the goalkeeper as it soared into the top right corner of the net for a crucial goal in the Serie A.